Hey, everybody. Welcome. We are super excited to be sharing with you a little bit more about our yoga school that we offer here. We're going to hit three areas. One, why even consider a yoga school? So, we're going to talk a little bit about that, have a conversation on why. And then we're going to go into the different schools. We have three schools. We have a 200, a 500, and a yoga therapy school. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And at the end, we're going to just share a little bit more about ourselves. When you think about yoga in the school that when we first went into it, it's all of these. When we look at it, people get drawn in because Mom always says there's a divine discontent. There's some inner knowing. It's like, I don't know. I think there's more. And then what is that more? Is just this amazing community of people, like-minded people that are trying to find ways in which they can just grow inward, right? And I think that's a big part of it. But what do you guys think? Why?
Yeah, well, I think that the biggest feedback we get is that people love the sense of community. They've done the trainings and they love learning with each other, meeting like-minded people, and yoga in culture looks a certain way, but yoga is very deep and it impacts the body, the mind, and the spirit. And we really like to integrate in all of this for people who are seekers and want to live a more connected life with other people and even just a sense of vitality in their own bodies.
Yes, I mean, I think this school and this training is for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're on this journey that you want to make this your vocation and teach, or if you are just looking for this to become more about your own inner journey, and especially seeing us with our holistic primary care office integrate this breathe pillar and this journey into everybody's health. For if you look at for longevity and for optimal aging and optimal health, we really feel like this is just such a foundation, and we've seen it just people reap the benefits.
Yeah, I mean, even a lot of times people are just trying to find a purpose. Like, what is my purpose? And I think especially as you get wiser, older, those questions come up a lot. And I know we definitely hit that really well to help people to define what is it that I need to be working on, and just that whole that effort of trying to find those little pearls that are just right there, but
Yeah, and
trying
I
to
think
find them.
too that not everyone maybe has a purpose of teaching yoga, but through the art of yoga, you can find your purpose. And so while we always have students who come in and want to share yoga out with the world, and that might be part of their purpose in life, but the majority of people use this training to deepen into their own personal interests even. It might not even be around teaching.
I agree. So we're going to talk a little bit about the different programs. The 200 hour, when I think of that, it's a big, broad umbrella. So you get this broad brush and some depth into the art of yoga. And we go into the philosophy and the techniques and the anatomy. And we kind of go through all the things. They're pretty standard within any of the 200-hour yoga teacher training programs. And you end with like a vocabulary, like some of these terms and what they mean. And they're terms that a lot of times we just don't necessarily see in the world because we don't necessarily always walk a spiritual journey. And so this, like Kim said, is working to integrate the body, the mind, and the soul. And as a mechanical engineer, I love this, which is the quantum physics stuff. Has already proven that 96% of the energy in the world is unseen and unmeasurable, and that's what yoga is all about, right? Finding that stuff. And the other 4% is this physical stuff. So I think the 200 hour we started it back in 2010. It's been a great program. We've graduated hundreds of people. And continues today. So super excited. If you are new to yoga, that would be the first one that you would take. So you would get through that one and possibly move on into some of the other ones. I know you're going to talk a little bit about our 500 hour.
Yeah, the 500 hours is like going to a graduate school. So if most of our students love 200 so much, they don't want it to end, they want to continue on. And we feel this is really where the personal journey really starts to integrate in. And yoga is so broad. There's so many different topics. I love sound healing and energy work. And so our 500 hour really helps you to dive into what aspects really resonate with you. And a lot of that is curated based on who shows up, but there's also some content there that we love to share, that is kind of standard in our 500 hour, but it's really deepening into that personal journey.
And you can, next step could be looking into our yoga therapy school. We're super excited about this. We have our school actually in our holistic primary care office. So this is actually one on one integration with patients, and it can be a variety of things from physical. Ailments and conditions to the mental and emotional. And so we are seeing just such benefit to our patients. And then this hands on training, I think, is just such a unique, one of a kind setting if you're at that point that you really want to use this in more of a therapeutic way in your career or your life.
So thank you. And so a little bit more, we're going to talk a little bit about ourselves. And so I was fortunate enough, my mom started doing yoga back in 1969. So at the age of 3, I was kind of exposed to it. At 10, I was meditating. We, in '07, along with Amy and Mom, started our first wellness center. And so, got my yoga teacher training certification so I could teach a lot of those classes. And then it was 2010 that we actually opened the school, the yoga school. And so it's just been a part of my life. I continue to use it. I continue to practice daily. To find ways to raise my own consciousness so that I can be a more caring, more loving, more compassionate person in the world. And so that's just a little bit about myself. And I'm just passionate about teaching and continuing to share, be a ripple of this modality into the world. It's amazing.
Yeah, and my name is Kim Carlson. I am a 500 hour YTT grad and also have been teaching for many years and found my passion for yoga when I was pregnant with my twin boys. 2005 is when I started. And it really started with a breath practice, being pregnant with twins. From there, it evolved into a pretty vigorous physical practice. But the beauty with yoga is that it evolves with you. The parts that I love with yoga now are not necessarily all the postures and shapes that we make with our bodies, while I still do that every day to keep myself in condition so I can enjoy life. But I definitely enjoy the meditation practices, the sound healing, like I mentioned before, and just deepening into my own understanding of how energy works in my body and to continue to raise that consciousness. And really my favorite part of training is always the friendships and the connections that I make with our students that are lifelong friends now. So it's just been a blessing to work with these two over the last many, many years. Yeah.
And I'm a little unique here. I'm a family physician. I'm also 500 hour trained. I don't physically teach classes. I really went on this journey for myself. I was young. I was 14 when I started dating Eric, and then we got married, raised children together, and yoga was just a critical part of us helping ourselves stay healthy, grounded, centered, to be present and good parents. And also we integrated it so much with our children. They're all 200 hour certified and 2 of them are 500 hour certified. So it's really been a family commitment just to see how much it's helped us mentally, emotionally, and through our own health. And now just over these years watching the students that have come through, our patients, we have this here in our office. We're so lucky. And so our patients reap these benefits. And it's just a critical part of, we integrate this with every single patient as one of their pillars of their health. So.
Well, that concludes our educational program here today. If you want more information, you can go to opt2liv.com. It's OPT, the number 2, LIV.com. Roots and Wings, yogawellness.com as well. And you can find both of us at the other website to learn more about us and even to reach out, ask questions, any of that stuff. We are super, super excited to serve you. If this sounds right to you, reach out. Be more than happy to help your journey unfold. Take care.